joined by Barry Naughton. He's from University of California in San Diego. Barry, thanks very much indeed for joining us. So, if they allowed the yuan to appreciate, that would probably, A, do the job, B, also perhaps cool down some of the political tensions too.
It certainly would. So it would be a double benefit as far as we're concerned here in the developed economies. I think the key meaning of this move right now, though, is that after a period of something approaching policy paralysis, we're seeing the policymaking initiative go back to the people in the banking system, like Central Bank Governor Yuan, who you mentioned earlier. These people are now getting the chance to introduce the policy levers that they want to use, and I think that overall that's good news for us.
But it may well inspire more capital to go there if we see this continue. So, A, my point first is this part of a tightening cycle, or is it just a one-off move? And B, how much capital could it possibly attract, and what damage could that do?
Yeah, it's definitely part of a tightening cycle. I mean, the bank has wanted for several months, to take a more aggressive stance to slow the economy. And now that the Chinese economy faces open inflationary pressures, plus, of course, they're looking at the very rapid increase in commodity prices worldwide. And recall that commodity prices pass through into Chinese inflation much more quickly and much more fully than they do, say, to the U.S. economy. So they're definitely concerned about inflation and want to take steps to address it. So in that sense, this is just one measure in what we'll see as a portfolio of measures. And hopefully one of those steps will be currency appreciation. I think we will definitely see further currency appreciation as part of this shift in policy. Now, the big problem with the Chinese approach to appreciation, as you say, is precisely that knowing that the currency will appreciate, and especially if interest rates are going up, definitely attracts inflows of hot capital. And I think what we can say is just that the Chinese are aware of that. It's the best they can do, given that the political system doesn't allow them to let the currency appreciate more rapidly. And so they're just going to dig in and sterilize those inflows as much as they can.
What about the G20 finance ministers meeting coming up? What sort of message is this move sending out to that?
Well, I think they'll portray it as, look, we're starting to take steps to rebalance our economy. This will include appreciation. After all, the yuan is up a little over 2% in the last 6 weeks. 2% is not much, but it reinstates the pattern that we saw in late 2007, early 2008, where the yuan was appreciating about 1% every month, and they let that roll for about 8 months at that time. And I think we're likely to be in for a similar episode right now. So I think that's the message they'll take to the G20. And of course, yeah.
Very quickly, Barry, I want to talk to you about the politics here as well, Chinese party leadership as well, and signals about who's going to be taking over.
Right. So they just had this party plenum, and it kind of endorsed the heir apparent Xi Jinping by appointing him the vice chairman of the military commission. So that indicates that their succession plan is more or less on track, and probably makes sense to think of this policy as a demonstration that concrete policy making is also, that they're in charge and that they're doing things that are effective and necessary.
Barry Naughton, thanks a lot for joining us. Barry Naughton there from the University of California, San Diego, just joining us to talk about China's unexpected move on the cost of borrowing.